Cool, guys. Thanks for the comments. Right. Hope you have gone through the syllabus also, which is shared by the coordinator with you. Right. So this is the course structure what we have designed. Okay, for the people who wants to get into VAPT domain, right, which is vulnerability assessment and penetration testing domain. So this domain, this particular course is designed in a such a way that even if you're a fresher or an experienced person who is moving from the different domain and wants to get into the cyber security, like in a VAPT domain, you will be able to get in because this course is going to start with very basics. I can say, like, first, I'm going to make you understand what is this VAPT domain is, and then anyone who wants to learn the cybersecurity or wants to get into this domain, you should have some basic networking knowledge and the Linux knowledge and fundamentals of cybersecurity, right? So if you see here, these two particular pages, which has various topics starting from introduction, basics of networking, cybersecurity fundamentals, basic terminology, operating system, lab setup, right? So all of these are, I can say, prerequisites. So we are also going to cover all the prerequisites before we get started into the course, right? So I can say, mainly I have divided this course in four different parts. Okay, maybe if you could have watched my previous some of the sessions which are uploaded in YouTube. Okay, you guys already knows about it, right? So first I'm giving you the course structure, guys, right? So I have divided this course in four parts, right? The first part where we'll be learning about the prerequisites, okay, the one which I have shown you, which are there in the course structure, and then penetration testing methodology, right? Because VAPT is what? Vulnerability assessment and penetration tester, right? Um, so how we identify the vulnerabilities, like weaknesses in the organization, and help them to secure before someone misuse them or exploit them, right? So for that, we have to learn the penetration testing methodology, and the same penetration testing methodology we are going to apply on the network and the web application, right? Let's say maybe if you would like to secure a web server, okay, you need to secure the network layer, right? Like how many ports are open, what services are running in it, how it is configured, where it is configured, right? To prevent all the network related attacks, and also the application which is running in the web server also needs to be secure, right? So so this is the overall, I can say, course structure, guys. What I have designed. If you need subtopics, okay, what we are going to cover, day by day. So you just grab this, okay. You just grab this syllabus. If in case if you didn't get it, okay, you will be able to understand, guys. How we are going to cover it. Okay, the entire course, or else maybe if you want me to share, I can also give you that, right? Yeah, guys. So that is what the course structure is all about. Yeah. Now I'll just quickly start with the demo, right? So yeah, guys. Welcome everyone for the demo session one for the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing training. I'll start this demo with my introduction. My name is Sai. I have total 7 years of experience into the information security domain. Currently, I'm working as a penetration tester for one of the organization. Okay, so my responsibilities over there is to perform the penetration testing for my client product. Okay, I have to cover web applications, networks, API, mobile, uh, you know, and also I do actively perform the vulnerability assessment scans on their infrastructure. Okay, so these all the my core areas. Apart from this, I also do code reviews, threat modeling, okay, etc. And the trainings, of course, I am doing it, like I can say, now it's all about like close to 6 years. This is like just kind of a hobby for me. Okay, I want to utilize my free time to share my knowledge, and these are some of the certifications, guys, which I'm holding right now. Okay, so this is all about myself. I think this is probably the fifth batch which I'm taking for the Harsha Institute. Yeah. So yeah, we have already discussed, how we are going to learn, what we are going to learn in this particular session, right? Now let's understand what is actually VAPT. Okay, where this VAPT comes into the cybersecurity. Correct. So as you know, cybersecurity is one of the emerging domain now, right? There are a lot of opportunities, good pay, um, high demand, right? So that's how it's coming to the focus. Correct. So what we do in cybersecurity, what is mean by cybersecurity, right? So cybersecurity is the practice of protecting computers, servers, mobile devices, networks, and the data from the malicious attackers or the unauthorized access, right? What we do as a part of a cybersecurity, we protect all the assets which has some value in it, right? If you take a computers, okay, like workstations, let's say developer is using a workstation, he is writing his code, right, which has some kind of a value in it, or he has some kind of a sensitive emails in it, right? Similarly, if you take any device over there, any asset, okay, like either it could be a computer, network, mobile, data, whatever it is, which has some kind of a worth in it, right? So what we do as a part of our cyber security, okay, we implement the security best practices to protect, okay, these devices or assets from the malicious attacks or from the unauthorized accesses, right? Like hackers who try to break the system and take the unauthorized access, right? So we also we are also ethical hackers, guys, but we are a good people. What we do is, we create a defensive strategies to stop the malicious attackers. Okay, so it encompasses a wide range of strategies, tools, and practices designed to safeguard the digital systems and information from the threats such as hacking, malware, and data breaches. Right, as I said, as a part of the security defensive team, okay, what we do is we create various defensive strategies, and we also use various tools and practices to safeguard the entire this digital system of a particular client from the various types of threats. Okay, when I say threats, it could be from the hackers or from the some kind of a group of hackers who are trying to break the system with the malicious intent. Got it. So in cybersecurity, there are a lot of domains, guys. Okay, some people will monitor, okay, the real time threats. Okay, who basically works in SIEM. Okay, that is the shift job. Like I can say 24 into 7. Someone has to be monitor the real time threats which are happening on the various assets. Then we have VAPT, okay, the one which we are going to explore and learn, which is vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Okay, apart from like what we do in the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing is, so vulnerability assessment. Okay, so what is this vulnerability assessment is? What is mean by vulnerability is like weakness. Okay, so the weakness could be anywhere in the system or network. Okay, or in the hardware or in the software. Okay, so as a part of the vulnerability assessment process, we identify those weaknesses, okay, which can be exploited by the hackers to break into the system. I mean, we help the organizations to identify the vulnerabilities, okay, like the weaknesses. And penetration testing is basically going one step ahead and exploiting those vulnerabilities and verifying, okay, whether it can be exploitable or not. Okay, it's like taking the advantage of this vulnerability. Okay, so vulnerability assessment is like a proactive approach, okay, in the organization. It is like complete process, I can say, where the organizations will perform the scans regularly on their assets to see what all the vulnerabilities are existed, and they will fix those vulnerabilities before someone exploits it. Okay, before someone takes the advantage of it. And penetration testing, like as I said, when they want to evaluate their security posture, okay, what sort of vulnerabilities can be identified and exploited to assess the real time impact, they go for the penetration testing, right? Apart from this, you have forensic. Okay, like once the maybe data breach or some kind of an incident happens, okay, so that analysis part, identifying the evidence and all, comes under the forensic. Then you have auditing stuff, right? How do they audit the systems as per the compliance part and all, right? So but yeah, our course main focus is identifying the weaknesses and you know taking the advantage over those weaknesses to identify the real time impact, right? So these are the two important processes in the cybersecurity, which is VAPT, aimed to identify and address the security weaknesses in the system, right? Got it. So when I say cybersecurity, it's all about protecting all the assets which has some kind of a worth in it from the malicious hackers. In VAPT, what we do, we identify the weaknesses and we address those weaknesses, okay, so that the hackers cannot be, exploited. The hackers cannot, able to break into it, right? Yeah, the same guys, okay. VAPT, like as I said, performing the scans on the network to identify the potential weaknesses or a flaws in the all the assets. It could be in systems, network, or in the application. It helps the organization to find vulnerabilities that could be exploited by the attackers, but does not involve actively exploiting them. Okay, it's like only identifying and highlighting those vulnerabilities to the uh, owner of the system. Okay, penetration testing is goes one step further by simulating the real world attack on the system to see if the vulnerabilities can be actually be exploited. So in the pen test, the tester acts like a hacker trying to break the systems and fix the weaknesses before a real hacker does, right? So we are like an ethical hackers who work for the organization. What we do is basically we act like a real hacker and we break into the systems, but with a good intent, and we also help them to fix those vulnerabilities before a bad actor, like a black hat guy, who takes the advantage of it to break into the system. Understand? Hope you are clear with these two uh, you know terminologies, right? Yeah, guys. Are you clear with these two terminologies, like what is vulnerability assessment, what we do in the vulnerability assessment, and what we do in the pen test? Hmm?
Yes,
Yes,
I.
yes.
Okay. So when it comes to vulnerability assessment, right? So it's mostly, you know, happens with some of the tools like Nessus, Qualys, especially when it comes to performing the network-related vulnerability assessment. We use these tools. These are two matured, I can say, the corporate tools and paid tools. Okay, like this is the Qualys. Uh, okay, and this one is the Tenable Nessus. So in every organization, we use these tools and Nessus and Qualys to perform the vulnerability scans on the network, and also we can do vulnerability scans on the application as well, right? So it's mostly like giving the target asset and performing the scanning for identifying the vulnerabilities. They have their own database with all the vulnerabilities with their own detection logic. So once you perform the scans with those tools will itself will give you the results in the required format. Okay, it's like maybe if you need the results in CSV or PDF or any other format like XML, those tools will support, guys, right? So but when I show you like in the sessions like directly uh, how to run these tools, how to use these tools, you might miss what is happening in the background, how these tools are identifying those results, right? So always before I wants to maybe jump into these tools, right? Nessus and Qualys, I will show you how can actually we identify those vulnerabilities manually with the help of the open source tools like Nmap, um, okay, or maybe with the help of the Metasploit kind of a tools. Okay, so we are going to use the Linux operating system. So all the tools which I'm mentioning, like Nmap, Metasploit kind of a tools are pre-installed in it. So first we'll learn manually. Okay, then we can go and use these automated tools or the corporate tools. Okay, you will be able to easily understand the difference, and according to your situation, you can use those tools, guys, in the real time. Okay, sometimes someone may ask you to go and troubleshoot it, or someone may ask you to go and verify the false positives results, right? Or someone may ask you to only do the manual testing. So you can use all the manual testing steps, okay, which I'm going to cover. So if you're clear and if your basics very strong, okay, you can directly go and use the tools like Nest and Qualys also. That's fine, right? And pen testing, like what we do in pen testing is basically it's a simulated real world attack, okay, to test the effectiveness of the security controls which are already in the place. Maybe let's say they have already designed a network, okay, they have already done with the configuration. Okay, what we do, we perform the pen testing on those networks to see if there is any loophole still that we can able to break in. Similarly, it is same for the application as well. Let's say the developer is developing an application. Okay, if he is not using the security best practices while he is developing the application, okay, let's say the application is directly going to the production. If there is any loopholes in it, still that can be you know used by the hackers to break into the application, and that can also lead to compromising the entire server and the backend components like database also, right? So pen testing is basically a systematic process which starts with the planning. Okay, so what happens is, let's say if you're working as a penetration tester, you will be given the scope and objective of the pen testing. Okay, let's say this is a network that you need to do the pen test, or this is the application that you need to do the pen test. They can give you the proper scope and the objective. Okay, then as per that, we start, doing the information gathering about the target assets or target systems, and we identify the loopholes, okay, which is weaknesses, and then we do the exploitation. Like when I say exploitation, breaking into those vulnerabilities, guys. Okay, I mean some of the terminologies might be very new to you, right? Don't worry. Okay, so I have, as I have shown you this course, and I'm starting from the basic terminologies itself. You will understand it, but yeah, first understanding this terminology is something which is important, guys. When you wanted to get into the security, it might feels little new, but yeah, once we start using them in every day, you will understand it, right? So it's like, your scope is, let's say, one house. Okay, so what we do in the reconnaissance part is like we identify how is the house, where is the house is located, how many doors are open, uh, you know, what kind of a security posture that house is having it. Okay, what is the weakest point in that house? So we'll break that weakest point and we'll enter into the system, and maybe we'll identify the valuable assets and we'll go from the house, right? That's how um, the robbery works, right? You can sync with that example over here. Okay, but this is authorized activity. Okay, before we go and do the robbery kind of a thing, we actually take the permissions because it's a simulated real world attack, right? For us, we'll be given a target asset. According to that, we identify the loopholes, and once we identify the loopholes, we break that loophole and we'll get into the system, and then we'll perform the maybe searching for all the valuable stuff, right? And once you're done with all the steps, right, we will be documenting everything. Okay, saying that this is how I was able to break into the system. You need to go and fix it. Okay, or create or implement a good security policy over here so that no one will able to go in the same way. Okay, that's how we help the organizations, guys, right? So here some of the tools which we use it, like Metasploit, Nmap, Burp Suite, SQL injection. There are a lot more tools out there, okay, which we are going to use it, guys, right? So hope by this explanation you got the difference between the VA and PT. Right? VA is like mostly performing the scans and identifying the issues and classifying and helping the teams to fix it. It's mostly like performing the scans. And PT is like going one step ahead and exploiting those issues and helping them to fix it. Right? So what is the benefits? Okay, what is the key benefits of learning or having this VAPT in the organization, right? See, it helps them to identify the security weaknesses. Okay, um, let's say if you're identifying the security weaknesses before someone exploits it, what happens? It is a most advantage for you, right? You are maybe stopping a data breach, correct? Which might cost you a lot. You might be helping the organizations to um, you know uh, create a trust with the customers, right? If the company is secure, it is not maybe data breached or hacked, people will trust you. If the company is, let's say, hacked, if the customer's data is out, okay, if there are some kind of unusual activities are detected, so no one wants to do the business with them, right? Correct. So yeah, with the help of the VAPT, we can identify the security weaknesses, and it also enhances the security posture of an organization. And as per the compliance, also, we can also clear all the regulatory and compliance part. Okay, so that we'll be ensured that we are as per the industry standards and legal requirements, and also protect the reputation, guys. Right? If your company is not like as I said, data breached, or it is not hacked, of course your reputation and your cost also saved, right? Because one security incident can bring down uh, all of these things, guys. Have you heard about this data breach called as a Vazirix in recent time? Hmm? So Vazirix is a very famous cryptocurrency platform. Okay, it just recently got breached. Okay, now they have stopped the entire operations itself. Right, you can see. So it's not running now, right? So Vazirix has moved 73 billion crypto after a data breach. Okay, they have moved, but I think 230 million, yeah, 230 million, you know, uh, cryptocurrency is basically hacked, right? It's in recent times back, okay, a few months back, I can say, right? Now the application itself is not working, and the people who have invested their money is also got stuck, I can say, right? Their entire business is now shut down. They don't have any revenue just because of a single data breach. Okay, this is one example. There are a lot. Maybe if you would like to read some of the things, you can start with Equifax data breach. Okay, it's one of the famous US-based company, uh, which got hacked in 2000, I think 17 or 8, yeah, 2017, just because not updating one of the component in the server. Okay, there was a vulnerability, very critical vulnerability in their publicly exposed server. So they didn't update it on time. I mean, the vulnerability management, okay, is not effectively identified and fixed it on time, and hackers have, you know, taken the advantage of it, and they have simply compromised all of this data. Okay, then the company shares down. The management has put down the resigns. Okay, a lot of things have happened, right? So that's the reason security is now become a very essential for every organization, right? So, and that's where the demand is also, and companies also spending a lot of budget. They're also allocating a lot of budget for the security, right? So yeah, you know, so now you understand what is VA, what is PT in a detailed way, right? And how this is also going to help the organizations, right? So once you complete this course, right? So what you're going to get out of it, right? So you will be able to understand the fundamentals of what is VA, what is PT for the network and application. So you will be able to perform the vulnerability assessment, or you can also start working in the vulnerability assessment domain, uh, or else learn. I mean, here I'm going to teach you the pen testing also. So spend some time after this course and also learn um, some other techniques of the pen testing, and start maybe applying for the penetration testing jobs also. Okay, so I mean, I'll give you all the steps that you require to follow to perform the penetration testing for network and application. So you can start either your career as a vulnerability assessor or a penetration tester. Okay, and yeah, uh, this is all hands-on training, guys. I'll be helping you to create your own lab in your system itself. Okay, like so for this course, we are going to use a Linux operating system, which is like an attacker system. Uh, and for target, we can install any one of the target, guys. It could be 7, 10, Ubuntu, Metasploitable 2, or any other operating system that we can use it as a target. Okay, so likewise, we'll be creating this virtual environment inside our operating system. So one is an attacker system, as I said, and these are all the various target systems to learn various attack scenarios. Okay, why uh, only Linux is, see, all the required tools, okay, for us are pre-installed in it. Okay, for an example, um, okay, for an example, if you go to kali.org, basically it's an open source operating system, guys. Okay, even I will only teach you how to use this operating system. Okay, if someone is new, I'll teach you how to install this operating system also. So this is most advanced penetration testing distribution. Okay, Kali Linux, it's an open source Debian based Linux distribution geared towards performing the various types of tasks related to information security, pen testing, security research, and computer forensic and reverse engineering. Right. So it has all the tools pre-installed in it, and the tools which are also developing out, right? So those tools are mostly compatible with the Linux operating system. So we are not going to mess up with our local operating system, guys. We are going to create a virtual environment on top of our local system with the help of the virtual box or VMware, and then we'll be installing these various operating systems, and we'll be able to run this operating system inside our you know a local system. Okay, you can see now I'm starting a new Kali Linux operating system inside my um, inside my Windows operating system, right? So, I mean, it is not completely CLI, guys. Now, there are a lot of GUI stuff is also added. Don't worry. Okay, if you know some of the commands, how to navigate, okay, here and there, that is enough to get started. Okay, I think I'll take that. Okay, and I'll explain to you. Yeah. Hope you now got it right. What is VAPT? How it is going to benefit the organization, and what you are going to get it once you complete this course. Okay. So yeah, you will be learning how to perform the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing for network and also web application. You can use these skills directly on the real time, and at the end I'll also show you how to create the reports. Okay, how to pull the reports from these tools, and also how to create the manual reports once you are done with the assessment. Okay, so this is all about you know the takeaways, I can say, from this particular course, right? So, I mean, why to get started into the VPT? Okay, when we have other domains also, right? See, guys, I can say, um, this domain has a lot of value. Okay, other domains may be completely automated, but this domain is something uh, you know I can say cannot be automated completely. Maybe in next 5 years, or next 5 years or more than that, right? Because even if you use some kind of an automated tools to, let's say, perform the scans on the web application, okay, Do you think the tool is mature enough to identify some of the business logic issues? Okay. Or maybe issues related to access controls or session management, right? No. So manual testing is something where there is a demand, okay, in this particular domain, right? So a lot of cyber threats are happening, so there is a high demand for this domain. Okay, here is some of the stats I have just you know taken out from the FBI and other places, right? The increasing number of cyber attacks has heightened the demand for the skilled professionals who can identify and mitigate the vulnerabilities. Okay, because the stat says that the cost of the cybercrime is expected to reach 10.5 trillion annually by the 2025, okay, which is next year, right? And also for the compliance part also, okay, every company also required to be compliant with their own regulatory and standard what they deal with, right? So, okay, for that also they need the security guys, and also for the digital transmission, right? So now if you see, if you compare maybe this particular few years, right, let's say last 10 years, most of the businesses are now moved to the online, right? So as business moves to the digital platforms, securing those applications network and the data becomes a very, very critical part. So 89% of all companies have already adopted the digital first business strategy or plan to do the business. So when they are moving to the digital, of course they need someone to protect all of these assets, right? And once you complete this course, as I said, you can apply for some of these roles, guys. Okay, you can apply for penetration testers, ethical hackers, security analyst, vulnerability assessor, security consultants. There are many other roles are also there, but which I haven't added. Okay, and this is one of the industry demand, guys, right? There are over 5 lakhs unfilled cybersecurity positions in the US alone, right? So the global cybersecurity workforce needs to grow by 145% to meet the demand. This is from the ISC Square. And job security, right? So I can say 100% job security and zero unemployment who are getting into the cybersecurity. Okay, once you start your career, right? So okay, always you will have job because we have the shortage actually. There are more opportunities, the shortage is also more. Okay, so that's the reason we are seeing that drastically people are moving or learning this new technology and getting into it because there is an advantage, right? What advantage? Initially, when you wanted to get into this kind of a domains, let's say if you would like to start your career as a vulnerability assessor, it's all about handling the tool and understanding the process and helping them to fix the issues as per the reports itself. I mean, when you're moving or starting your career as a pen tester, you are a tester. You are testing with all your skills, okay, whichever you're going to learn from this course to help them, right? I mean, here initially, though, I don't see, you have to learn some kind of a programming language. Um, to get started kind of a thing, right? It's all about testing. You will have the test cases, as per that we are going to test the applications or network, right? So yeah, that's the reason there is a high spike in this particular domain. And of course career growth is also there, and global opportunities, you can apply the jobs anywhere, okay, in the world. Got it. So these are the some of the career opportunities, and you also feel, right, when you work in the cybersecurity, okay, you will have that satisfaction that you are helping the organizations to secure it, right? That's what create the impactful work for you. Okay, and the last question comes in your mind is, okay, all the things are good. So, okay, when we wants to get into the security, when we wants to start our career in this particular domain, what all the skills that are required to get started, okay? As I've shown you initially, the complete uh, course structure, all these topics are already mentioned there, right? All these topics are already mentioned there. Okay. See, attacks happens through network, so you must know how the network works, correct? Like what is the OSI model, what is the TCP UDP, transport layer protocols. Okay. So anyway, if someone is not having these networking skills also, I have added them in the syllabus. You can see, yeah, basics of networking, right? I have all the resources. I can also share all the resources with you, and I will also explain this networking related topics. Okay, and whenever something is required, right, from the networking point of view, I'll also be covering it. Basic networking, guys. If you have theoretical knowledge, also that's fine. And operating system knowledge, like as I said, we are going to use the Linux operating system. So how to use, navigate, okay, here and there. So this, Linux operating system knowledge also, I'm also going to cover it. The same thing I have added in the, okay, here, right? How to set up this environment, okay? How to get started with the operating system related, okay, knowledge. I have added it over here. And the basic terminologies also I have added, the one which I'm using, like the new terminologies, right? Vulnerabilities, exploits, payloads. Okay, someone is new to security, right? You will feel this terminology is very new, so don't worry. Okay, so I have planned it in a way that this is going to be for someone, like as I said, even if someone is new wants to get into it with, who has a good positive intention or never give up attitude to get into it. Yeah, you can follow this course structure and you will be able to learn it. Okay, and along with that, skills, technical skills, you also need some softer skills, guys. Okay, what is this softer skills? Like analytic analytical thinking, okay, ability to think and solve the complex problems, attention to details, keen observation skills to identify the subtle vulnerabilities, because information security is kind of a domain where you need to upgrade yourself, as per the latest threats and techniques, vulnerabilities and all. So you should have all the software skills also, understand them, and give attention to those issues and communicate all of them to your management, okay, written or verbal. So you should have some basic communication skills also. And the very very important thing is, okay, you must have that jill, to learn new things and explore new things. Okay, so these are some of the softer skills I can say which are required to get started. And the lab setup part, okay, I think most of the people will have these questions, how to set up the lab and all. So this is the basic configuration is required. If someone is not having the this configuration also, I hope nowadays everyone has maybe Intel process, okay, with at least 8 to 16 GB RAM. If someone is not having also, there are virtual labs, guys, which you can use at those virtual labs to learn this sessions, right? I can provide you that more details to you, but I hope most of you guys have like Intel i5 or i7 with 8 to 16 GB RAM, right? So what we do is we use the basic operating system as a Windows operating system. On top of that, we are going to install this virtualization layer. Okay, inside the VM, we are going to install this operating systems like this. Okay, Kali, Windows, and we'll be start, attacking on them, right? So this is all high level. I can say, guys, what is what is cyber security, what is VAPT, the detailed, explanation of what is VA and PT, okay, and what skills are required, why we need to learn, right? What is the takeaways from this course and all. So I'll stop this session here. Okay, for today. I'll okay take up your questions, guys. I'm stopping my screen. Okay, so you guys can now ask the
Hi,
questions.
Sai.
Okay, hi.
Hi. I have a quick question on the net, like the prerequisites for this course. So you shared that basic networking skills are enough, right? So are there any uh, like VAPT and penetration testing? Won't we need a proper or a full-fledged networking skill set, or just the
No,
basics are enough?
basic knowledge, like how network works, how communication happens. Okay, some of the basic, most commonly used protocol knowledge. Theoretical knowledge is enough to understand the topics. Okay, you don't need to get deep dive into the networking related stuff. The required things I have already added in the syllabus. That's what I have highlighted to you. Right? I'll be covering them. If something is required, maybe you to go through it also. I can give you those topic list of topics to you.
Okay, and when we say vulnerability in this course, are we only going to look at from the web application perspective or also from the mobile, Android and iPhone, iOS kind of
Okay.
applications?
So see, these are all the basics, right? Learning network VAPT and application VAPT are the basics. So when you want to apply the same skills on the mobile application, you can do that. But there are few other platform related, how to identify the platform related vulnerabilities or configuration vulnerabilities that you need to learn it separately. But that is not something which we are going to cover it over here. But these skills are mandatory, I can say, to even test the application, mobile application also. Only the things what that you need to learn it on top of this is basically what how to identify the configuration related vulnerabilities in the application or platform related vulnerabilities of an Android. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can see another question over here in the chat. Will you provide any certification here, right? See, guys, of course, course completion certificate is provided from the institute. Okay, but if you need any other certification, like professional certificate from the EC Council, like let's say CH and all, okay, we can also help you to get that certificate. You just contact us. And difference between the ethical hacking and VAPT. See, ethical hacking, I can say, um, okay, see that is also another separate course, right? But that is not professional course. Once you learn the ethical hacking, again you have to maybe learn penetration testing on top of it. Okay, with the skills whatever you have learned from the um, ethical hacking, you need to apply them here in the penetration testing in a systematic way by picking up the topics required for us to get started into the VAPT. I have already added them here in the course. Okay. Regarding the fees and all, you can get in touch with Manju. Okay, she is the point of a contact for you. She is the coordinator. She can help you guys. Okay. Regarding the calls, okay, in this domain, first you learn, all the skills. There are opportunities, guys. Okay. So yeah, definitely, when you go for an interview, if you perform well, there are jobs for the freshers. Okay, what are the other domains in cybersecurity? Like as I said, we have you know various domains, guys. Right? You have a SOC, VA, PT, forensic, incident handling. Okay, yeah, there are a lot more. So which companies will hire for the freshers? See, there are a lot of companies, guys. Okay, especially when the mass hiring is going to happen. Okay, in the next upcoming days, right? You can apply there. So now, if you look into the news, right, there are companies like Accenture, TCS, Infosys are going to, you know, hire mass. I mean, there is a mass hiring is going to happen. So you have to go and grab those opportunities, and you need to get into it. Yeah, even if someone is with the different knowledge, different domain, okay, wants to get into it, you can learn it. Okay, but you need to put some more efforts when you want to showcase the more experience, right? So yeah, because they'll definitely have some more expectations when you're trying to show more years of experience. So you have to learn the skills, up to their expectations, and then move. Any other questions, guys?